In this section of OpenStax, we are going to be going over different kind of graphs, particularly the stem and leaf graph, the line graph, and the bar graph. Let's go ahead and start off with the stem and leaf graph. Notice we want to start out with a vertical line and a horizontal line, and we're going to separate our numbers into stems and leaves. Let me show you what I mean by this. Here we have Susan's pre-calculus class, and listed are the test scores from the first exam. What we want to do here, we want to start off drawing a horizontal and a vertical line, and you're going to take the tens digit from the scores, meaning we have scores in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s, and so on. And you're going to write that tens digits in what's called the stem part of the graph. Notice our highest score is 100, so in that case, yes, we will include the tens place, but also the hundreds place. Now, what we need to do is take the units digit for each score, and in order, we are going to record those. So notice in the 50s, we have a test score of 53, a 55, and another 55. We have a 61, so we go down into the 6 rows, a 63, a 67, two 68s, we have to show those twice, and two 69s, we show those twice as well. So not too terribly difficult. And let's just finish this up here, an 83, an 88, 88, 88, 90, and in the 94's case we have 4 of them, so of course we write that 4 times, and our last score is 100. So there you go, we have a stem and leaf plot. Next, we're going to look at the line graph. In this survey, 40 mothers were asked how many times per week their teenager had to be reminded to do his or her chores. And we can see we have our table over here. 2 teenagers had to be reminded 0 times, 5 teenagers 1 time. Not too bad, but it looks like the most here was 14 teenagers 3 times. So teenagers, if you're listening to this, listen to your mom and do your chores. Okay, but notice on our x-axis we have the number of reminders, and our y-axis or our vertical axis we have the frequency of the reminders. And notice they simply just plotted each point. 0 reminders occurred 2 times. 1 reminder occurred 5 times, and so on. They connected each point with a line. So again, a very common graph and pretty easy to draw. The most difficult part is probably just using a ruler and keeping the information organized. And lastly, we have a very common graph, the bar graph, which many of us have most likely seen before. It's one of the most popular. So again, notice in our table here that we have our columns separated into age groups, 13 to 25, 26 to 44, so on, the number of Facebook users, and the proportion of those Facebook users. So in this bar graph, we selected a bar to represent the age group 13 through 25, another for 26 through 44, and 45 through 64. On this graph, notice what the y-axis represents, the percentage of Facebook users, not the number. You could have made another one using a number, but in this case we specify this is the proportion. So since the 13 through 25 age group, 45% of them use Facebook. We make that bar graph come all the way up to the 45% mark. And so on. For 26 to 44 age group, let's see, they were at a 36% rate. So we bring the height of their bar all the way up to about 36, a little over 35%, and so on for the 45 through 64 age group. And that's our lesson on section 2.1.